Hello Smashers and welcome back to a brand new video. Now if you're new to the channel, firstly hello and welcome. My name is Jansen Smith and I post the very best tips, tricks, tutorials, as well as just documenting my general journey with Amazon FBA. So if that's the sort of thing that you're looking for, you've found the right place, and please do consider subscribing if you do enjoy this video or anything else on the channel. Now in today's video, I'm going to be explaining and telling you guys exactly why you should be sending emails to your customers, and I'm going to be revealing 5 different emails that I send as a result of selling on Amazon FBA, and 5 emails that I would strongly encourage you to also send as well. So let's get into the video. First of all, why should you send your customers follow-up emails? So firstly, an effective follow-up sequence will provide you with the benefit that you are more likely than not to get more reviews, more 5-star reviews than had you not asked. I've tried it and it definitely works. I sell on a number of different marketplaces. I don't actually have a follow-up sequence at all at the moment in Germany or France, purely because I don't speak the language, so I haven't had time to translate one. And having sold about 100 units, 150 units in both countries, guess how many reviews I've got? 0. Whereas on my UK account, so where I've got a couple of listings and I make quite a few sales, with my first product I've got nearly 400 reviews, and with my second product that's only been selling about 2 months now, I've nearly got 100. So follow-up sequences do work, guys, and that is exactly why I recommend them. That's probably the main reason. The next reason is that an effective follow-up sequence can increase repeat business, so you can get customers to buy from you again and again, increasing the level of profit. It lowers your chances of a 1-star review, so it allows you to try and stop the customer from feeling upset or angry at the fact that nobody's reached out to them, and it will basically allow you to do damage limitation, ensure that you don't get a 1-star review, which can ultimately hurt the amount of sales that you make. And it will help you to reinforce and establish your brand. If you can send a number of emails to your customers, highlighting how great your customer service is and reinforcing your brand, they're far more likely to remember who you are, recommend you to friends, etc. Maybe even come back to make more purchases in the future, which ultimately means more money in our back pockets. So having an effective follow-up sequence ultimately increases the level of your conversion, it increases the amount of sales that you make, and of course it increases the level of profit that you take home at the end of the day. So what are the emails that I send? Well, the first email I send is sent the day after a purchase is made, and the point of this email that I send is to provide the customer with unexpected and additional value. So what I would recommend in this first email that you do is firstly to introduce yourself as the founder of the company and say that you're personally reaching out to the customer. Thank them for their purchase, say how much it means to you, establish your brand and level of customer service, so make sure you've got the logo in there, or at least that you reference the name of the brand, and then tell the customer how they're your #1 priority and how you really want to make sure that they are 100% satisfied. Then let them know that the product has been dispatched, so that's why I say to send the email the day after. Don't do it the same day, just in case there's a slight delay. So set your email sequencing up to send the day after, or if you're doing it manually, just remember to look at when the order was made and then do it 24 hours after. And then guys, this is what I would really recommend you do, is provide some value, some unexpected value, something that will catch them off guard and think, wow, I'm really pleased that I bought off this person. So things that I do, it depends on the product, and of course depends on any ideas that you've got. Things that you could do are give them tips on how to use the product, something, using it in a way that they may not have thought of. You can attach an ebook if you've mentioned that in your listing, that's where you can attach it. You can provide them with instructions. Guys, this is something that I do, and something that maybe you think, how is that providing value? But it really works. So my product, I've got the instructions in PDF format. I just send it in this email and I say, I know how easy it is to lose instructions, so if you ever do need help using the product, I'm attaching the instructions for you now so that you can always refer to it in the future. And the amount of reviews and feedback I've had from customers saying how helpful that was is really like surprised me. So that's my little tip here. Provide instructions if you can't think of anything, if you can't think of any tips or an ebook or something else to give them, just attach the instructions. Now, I would say in this first email, do not ask for a review. Try and build a relationship first. You don't want to come across as though you're being inauthentic and you're just being nice just to get a review. What I would say is just try and have a conversation with the customer. So try and ask them a question or make a request, say, could you let me know if you got this email? Something like that, or just, provide that little bit of value by attaching something. Don't ask for a review at this stage. And if you want a bit of help in how to write the email or something like that, I'll put a link in the corner of the video now to a previous video that I've done where I went through my email sequence that I did about a year ago, and I still do a very similar one now. So the second email that I send, and the second email that you should send as well, this is where you ask for the review. So again, the purpose of this second email, which should be sent 5 days to a week after they made the order, so they've had enough time to actually use the product, is first of all, ask how they're finding things. Say, how are you finding the product? Are you enjoying it? Do you want to give me a story that I can possibly tell to other customers? Something like that. Just try and get a conversation going. Again, reinforce your brand and the level of customer service. So say something like, the reason that I'm reaching out is I want to make sure that you are completely satisfied. And then, of course, ask them for a review. So just say something like, thanks once again for your purchase. It would really help me out if you could leave an honest review. Here's the link. And then, if possible, maybe provide an additional tip. So an additional usage tip or something like that. You don't have to, but it's just another way of kind of making the customer feel as though they're really glad that they bought from you. Now, tip from me, guys, here is if the customer replied to your first email, so on the first email, if you asked them a question and they did actually reply, I wouldn't send them this email. So if you are using an automated email sequence, which I'll talk about in a bit, so if you're using feedback whiz or jump send or something, I would make sure that if they do reply to your first email, that you remove them from the email queue. Make sure that they don't get this one because they'll see straight away that it's automated. We want to try and make sure that the customer thinks that this email sequence is completely authentic and you are actually writing them an email. So if the customer replies to your first email and says, thanks very much, yeah, I'm really looking forward to receiving it, then I would just manually send them this email. So I'd be like, hey, how are you? Yeah, hopefully you've received it by now. Have you? How are you finding it? Something like that, and then ask for the review. So then the third email. Now this is another one that I use and it is really successful and it's really profitable. So the purpose of this email is to try and get more sales, and the best thing about it is if it works, you get your full amount of profit without having to spend any money on advertising or PPC or anything like that, because the customer will just click the link that you've given them straight to your listing and they'll buy. So what you should say in your third email is, firstly, ask them the question. Say, would you be interested in making another purchase if I gave you a discount? A little tip for me here is I'd put in there and say it's following feedback from other customers who are really interested in buying another for a present or something, or it'd make a really good birthday or Christmas present. So say, following feedback from other customers, I thought it'd be worth reaching out to you to see if you'd be interested in making another purchase for a discount. Please let me know if you are by replying to this email. And that does two things. Firstly, it will help build up another sale. It'll help get you another sale. And secondly, it will help you to engage in dialogue. And I find that as soon as you engage in dialogue with the customer, so as soon as they reply and you can get a conversation going, the chances of you being able to get a review from that customer, they completely go up, because the customer, I suppose, feels a bit more invested in you and the company and the brand, and they feel maybe a bit more special over the fact that they are actually having a conversation with the founder of a company, with the person that sold them the product. So what I would say is ask them to reply if they are interested in a discount and get that conversation going. I would 100% say do not ask again for a review. You don't want to start annoying them and feel like that you're badgering them for reviews constantly. If they want the discount, they'll reply to you. And as I say, if they've replied to you, then you can ask them for a review as soon as you've engaged in conversation. Now, the fourth email I send, and this email is sent to a different type of customer. This email is sent to somebody that's already ordered from you before. So I'll show you how to do this shortly. You can get all this set up automatically. But what I do is I send an email to customers that have emailed before. So I make sure that those emails that we've just gone through together aren't sent to the customer that's ordered before. And instead, this one is, which basically says, thank you for making another purchase. That really means so much to me. Say that you recognize their name and that you wanted to personally reach out once again to thank them. And then what I would also say, and this is another big tip, is I would ask them a question, try and get that dialogue going again, and say to them, thanks so much for making the purchase. Could you help me out here? Is there anything that you would improve about the product? So maybe changing the color or something like that. Or is there anything about the listing that you think could be improved? And you will be surprised at how many people reply and give you tips. This is like the best market research that you can do, because you're talking to somebody that's bought your product, that likes your product, they've come back, they've bought again. So they're probably going to be able to say, actually, do you know what? I think it would be amazing if you could change the color here, or if the product could also do this, or maybe I've been using the product in this way, maybe you should mention that on your listing. So that is a great way of improving your listing, optimizing your listing, and finding ways to ultimately increase your level of conversion. And once they've replied to you from that email, you can ask for a review. If you want, you can ask for the review in the first email as well. My advice is try and get a bit of dialogue going. And as soon as you've done that, that's when you can say, seeing as you like the product so much, or seeing as you've made another purchase, would you do me a massive favor and please leave a review through the following link. Now, the fifth email, and this, guys, is one you should 100% be sending. The fifth email is for damage limitation, and it's to try and stop you getting a 1-star review. Now, what I do is I've set it up so this email is sent anytime a refund is made to a customer. So the minute that the customer presses I want a refund on Amazon, this email gets sent to them. And essentially what it says is, it says, dear customer, thank you for your initial purchase. However, I've seen that you've just asked for a refund. Firstly, I would like to apologize. I don't want any unhappy customers. Something like that, something along those lines, and just basically apologize profusely and ask what the issue was. Try and find out what the issue was and explain that you're going to try and set things right. Again, reinforce the brand and your level of customer service. Say that there's no way that you want any unhappy customer. So please let you know what the reason is. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they ordered made a duplicate order or something like that. But if it's something like it came damaged or it came with a missing part, then of course you want to know about that before they actually go ahead and maybe leave you a 1-star review. So I would, again, try and get conversation going, get them to reply. If they reply and engage in conversation, they're far less likely to leave that 1-star review, probably because they feel a bit too bad, especially if you mention that you're a small company and that the customer is your number one priority. So my tip here, guys, is because some customers do opt out of receiving these emails, is in your subject header, put in open square brackets, important, close square brackets, and that will ensure that even if they have opted out, that they'll get the email. Now, officially, you're not meant to do that, but in my opinion, it's okay, because the number of refunds that you get shouldn't be too many. So I'd say maybe 1 refund a week or something like that. So if you're sending 1 email a week that's got that important brackets in, I think that's okay. So just on that topic, guys, because I know a number of people do say, is there much purpose of doing this email sequence, because a lot of customers opt out? Well, that is right. A number of customers do opt out. I'd probably say it's around 50-50, but that doesn't matter. I think it's still important that you try as many different ways, as many different things as you can to try and get reviews and increase your sales. So what, if you send 100 emails and only 50 are read? Well, it doesn't matter, because if 50 of those are read, and 10 of those customers do decide to make another purchase, well, it's money well spent, I think, on these email sequencing campaigns. In my opinion, you need to be doing as many things as you can to try and get reviews and to try and increase the level of conversion that your product has. So what I would say, guys, is initially, as soon as you start selling on Amazon, if you're making like 1 or 2 sales a day, by all means do this automatically. So go into Word and write out your email and then copy and paste it over. But as soon as you start making a number of sales each and every day, like maybe 5 or more sales a day, I would 100% recommend using an effective email sequencing program. I personally use Feedback Whiz. It's very cheap. It's like $15 a month, I think. I have actually got a 50% off voucher for your first month in the description box below, so check that out if you're interested. Or alternatively, you can use JumpSend, Helium 10, Feedback Genius. There are quite a few out there. My favorite, having trialed a number of them, is Feedback Whiz. So what I'm going to do quickly now is just show you how to set up your emails once you're in there, in terms of how to send emails to repeat customers and refunded customers, etc. Okay, so what you want to do as soon as you're logged into Feedback Whiz is come into Campaigns and then Template Manager. You can see these are the templates that I've got here. And then what you'll need to do is click Create New Email Template. Really helpfully, actually, Feedback Whiz has got a number of templates that are already pre-written. So if you press Load Pre-Built Template, you can see they've got loads of emails here that are already written for you. So if you want, you can use one of those and then adapt it slightly. So for example, here we've got order refund. If we just click View Template, you can see it says, Dear customer, we noticed that a refund was given for the product, blah, blah, blah. So you can use that there. So what I would say, guys, is work your way again through this video and go through all the different emails that you should be sending. Write those out in Word or use the video that I previously made as a guide. And then once you've done that, you can create all your templates. And then as soon as you've done that, you go into Campaign Manager, let that load, and then create new email campaign. And then all you need to do is, so for your email, the very first email that you send to let the customer know that it's dispatched, you just press on status, you go on shipped, and then you go on schedule, send emails. I just send it 1 day after the order is shipped. And then in exclusions, if you want, you can scroll down and press exclude repeat buyers, because we don't want to send the same email to somebody that's making another purchase, because immediately they'll know that it's automatic and they're not actually as special as they thought. So that's how you do that. Now, if you want to set it up so that a customer is emailed as soon as they put a refund request in, well, it's the exact same. You just select your campaign, you go onto status, and then you select refunded. And then you can send that, choose to send that immediately. You don't want to do it 1 day after, you want to do it immediately. So that's it for this week, guys. Hopefully you found it useful. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, it's something that I set up about a year ago now when I first started selling on Amazon. And in total, this sequence has generated me over 450 reviews or something in total now. It's helped me make additional sales and really to establish my brand and help tell the customer that they are my #1 priority. So if you did enjoy this video, guys, please do give me a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, feel free to post them down below, and I will see you in the next video.